morning, good evening, and good night, everybody. My name is Sarah, and today we're doing the playlist book tag. This book tag is very simple. You put your phone on shuffle, and then you pick a book to match the songs that come up. Now, I've seen this done a lot with, new albums that were released, specifically Panic at the Disco. That seems to be, the most popular band. But I never buy full albums. That's just the thing. There's always at least one song on the album I don't like, so I never buy the full thing. So I just put all of my music on shuffle, and we will see what comes up. Here's a fair warning, though. I have very unique music taste. There's emo, there's pop, there's techno, there's musicals, there's video game music in there, so I will try and make sure the stuff that comes up can be matched with books, because Bird That Carries Over You, a disproportionately small cliff, or gap, or whatever that song title is from Undertale, that's on my phone. I don't think I can match that to a book, so we are trying our best here, and hopefully this video can still be viewed to all of the public, because, copyright music, it's difficult on YouTube. So, with that being said, let's dive on in. Six of Crows pairing with Miss Jackson by Panic at the Disco. So, Six of Crows, this beautiful special collector's edition, which I'm just in love with. So this book is about a group of criminals known as the Crows, who were tasked to do this impossible heist. And I specifically think of one of the female characters in here, and I'm just like, yes, please. She is amazing, and I'm specifically pairing her with this song, but this whole cast in general could really work, especially, actually, Kaz could work really well with this song. Kaz is now Miss Jackson, that is canon, but just look at how beautiful this book is, and it's red and sprayed edges, and the back is No More, Just No Funerals, which is my bookcase, not my book, my phone case, which I'm just in love with this series so much. So, beautiful Miss Jackson, here we go.
My name's Mark Barton, I've been through some shit. But now, baby, I'm back. Right, I made this mistake. Been wasting some time. I thank you for your noble sacrifice. I'm smart. I've been through some shit. You need to do this. I'm ready. I am so down for this.
Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard is being paired with I'm Back Baby, the Markiplier remix. So, Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard, written by the same guy who wrote Percy Jackson. This deals with Norse mythology. Our main character, Magnus Chase, dies, and he ends up in Valhalla. And so I'm pairing this book with this song, because it's yep, I'm back, I'm dead, but I'm still here to save the world. And I'm just yes, it works in so many ways. I have a couple manga series that can do this as well. I love the trope of someone dying and coming back, but not in the way that you expect. So, he's still dead in this, but he's awesome. I think the term isn't Harry. I might be pronouncing that wrong. But yeah, it's awesome, and it's so cool. I mean, I feel yeah, the song works very well. This book very much has the traditional sass and humor of a Rick Riordan book. So, I think it works. I think it works rather well. I'm Not Famous by AJR is being paired with Welcome to Night Vale. So, I'm hesitant to pair this book with this song, because one of the characters in this book, he is known as the man in the tan jacket carrying the deerskin suitcase. No one can remember his face, no one can remember his name. And it works with I'm Not Famous because the whole no one knows my face, no one knows my name. But at the same time, that character really doesn't like that. So, I mean, it works, but at the same time it doesn't. Welcome to Night Vale is just one of my favorite books of all time, and I don't talk about it enough recently, but I'm highly recommending this. Read it quickly. I love it. I mean, there's always the podcast, but this is the novel, which follows the same town, but you have different perspective, and it's different storyline, and I love this so much, and Night Vale is such a cool and creepy place, and also, I love AJR. So let's just pair my two favorite things. AJR, the band, and Welcome to Night Vale, the novel. And also, just anything Welcome to Night Vale, really. I just love how it's written.
In the eye of a hurricane, there is quiet for just a moment. sky. When I was 17, a hurricane destroyed my town. I didn't drown. I couldn't seem to die. I wrote my way up, wrote everything down far as I could see. I wrote my way up. I looked up and the town had its eyes on me.
Hurricane from Hamilton is being paired with Red, White, and Royal Blue. This is mostly just because of the quote from here, history, huh? So, Red, White, and Royal Blue is sort of this new adult romance between the son of America's first female president falling in love with the Prince of Wales. And it's during the time, it's set sort of like 2016-ish, like a different universe when else got elected for president. And our main character, Alex, he is half Mexican, half white, and he's facing all this problem with being like the first mixed-race son of America, and also the fact that he is in love with the Prince of Wales, and, you know, like, the royal family is still, like, not entirely supportive of that relationship, and something happens in this book where he has to essentially, like, the world suddenly has to look at him, and he has to find a way to survive and get through this world when everyone is looking at him. He's going through a hurricane, he's going through chaos and mass, and just his whole life could be destroyed if he says one thing incorrectly, and it's all, like, just amazing, and I love it, and I don't like romance, and I love this book.
As we stumble along life's funny journey, as we stumble along into the blue, we look here and we look there, seeking answers anywhere, never sure of where to turn or what to do.
As we stumble along from Drowsy Chaperone the Musical is being paired with Alice's Adventure in Wonderland. I mean, first of all, there's always a joke that Alice's Adventures in Wonderland is kind of like a drug trip. Drowsy Chaperone, one of the main characters, at least the title character, she's not the main character. She's drunk. She's, like, always drunk. That whole song is actually just an anthem to alcoholism. Here's the thing. Drowsy Chaperone is, like, a story within a story. Like, our narrator is telling us the story of the Drowsy Chaperone. And so, it's just, I like the idea how that pairs well, because Alice, we open the book with Alice living in our world, and then she stumbles down a rabbit hole, a story within a story. And then there's also the fact, like, I don't know which way to turn, what's left from right, what's right from wrong, we don't know. And I feel like that's just sort of like, that, like, whimsical confusion. It pairs really well with this, and also just look at this edition of, I love Alice in Wonderland. I love collecting these, like, beautiful editions of this book, and it's so pretty, and I love it. Sandcastle Kingdom by Nathan Sharp is being paired with Vicious by V.E. Schwab. So, Sandcastle Kingdom, that song, it just fits so perfectly because it's all just like this weird, like, this isn't right, this isn't real. When you wake up, it's all a dream, but right now, when we go to hell, we're all the same. Vicious is about a group of people who realize that if you go through a near-death experience, there's a chance that you can come back with superpowers. One of them takes the road of thinking they're the hero, they're the right one, they must purge all the evil from the world, and our main character must go after that and stop them. This is a story about two villains fighting against each other, and it's so cool because in the end, you know you're rooting for the bad guy, but that's just the way it has to be. And I love it so much because when you die, you're all the same in the end anyways, and it's so cool, and I love it, and the ending to this book, I know there's technically a sequel, but it doesn't follow the same characters, and I'm scared to read it, because the way this book ended, it just felt so like, this is it, this is the ending. There's obviously, these characters are going to continue to live on, but this is the end of the story, and so I'm just, I don't know, when I hear that song, I'm like, yeah, Vicious would be like the only book I have on my shelf that would match that song. I'm sorry, I can't keep a straight face. That song is Renegades. I'm gonna pick a different song just because I know I picked this book just because the song's name was the same. Pitchfork Kids by AJR is going with Renegades. Also, the song Renegades is going with Renegades. So I've talked about this book a lot fairly recently. So this story follows the main character who is raised by the villains. And this takes place 20 years after the Age of Anarchy, the Age of Villainy was crushed by the superheroes known as the Renegades. So our main character is tasked to infiltrate the Renegade Society because she is the only villain who was never caught. Because she was so young, she mostly wasn't active during the time of the Age of Anarchy. And so, no one knew who she was. And so now she's being tasked to go into the superhero society and try to bring down the Renegades from the inside. And Pitchfork Kids is kind of this, narration of a song where, the perspective character meets this person who's, rough and rowdy and chaotic, and they're there are more of them. There are more of them where she comes from. And I just feel like that fits the anarchists so well. But also, if you look at a different perspective, our main character of this book, Nova, she's looking at her teammate in the Renegade Society known as Sketch, that's a superhero name, and she's he's not that bad, but the ideas that he represents really aren't the best either. And so I feel yes, it works so well, and I love it, and AJR is one of my favorite bands at the moment, you guys. So I have to pair some of the favorite books on my shelf with them. That's a rule, okay? The Greatest Show is being paired with Daughter of a Burning City. This book follows a main character who is an illusionist. She lives in this burning city, which is a carnival on wheels, and the legends say that this carnival used to be a great city until it burned to the ground. And the last mayor of the city promised that the city would live on, even if it's a traveling, burning city. Like I said, our main character, she's an illusionist. She is so cool. She was born without eyes, which I think fits perfectly into The Greatest Showman musical or movie, or what does it qualify as? I don't even know. So the musical / movie it's all about the first circus. People who were deformed came together to put on the greatest show so they would finally be accepted. Fits perfectly well with this book and the setting it takes place in, because all the people who don't belong gather into this beautiful burning city as it travels the world. So I think I'm going to end it here because we could just go on forever, but that seems like a hassle to put all the books away again. So if you liked this video and like any of the books I mentioned or any of the songs I mentioned, please leave that down in the comment section down below. Even if you disagree with me or have a better suggestion of a book that could have fit for one of these songs, say that as well. And while you're there, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And as always, good night, good evening, and good morning, everybody.